Keith Gill almost became a billionaire with options, and this is what we're going to be covering in today's video. So Keith Gill, more known as Roaring Kitty, he is probably Wall Street Bets edgelord, the biggest, most famous member of Wall Street Bets. So basically, if you don't know what Wall Street Bets is, it is a place where degenerates reunite to talk about stocks, but they are very, very close to what we have in crypto for the degen side of things. So high yield, zero DTE options, trying to make $1 million out of 500 bucks. So these crazy fellas, they reunite in this subreddit to show their losses, their profits, their huge gains, their huge losses, whatever it is. And amongst the legends of these subreddits, Roaring Kitty, or as is known on Reddit as the value, he is the biggest legend of all. So if you're not able to following what I'm saying, you most likely remember the short squeeze for GameStop and AMC, but mostly the GameStop stock. This is when the mainstream media started talking about short squeeze, options, all these sorts of things. And this specifically is when Roaring Kitty started making a lot of money with options, because he was one of the first guys to talk about the short squeeze, to preemptively open a position on GameStop, because he knew that if the short squeeze was going to happen, he would become a millionaire. And that ended up happening. He had to show up to court. There was a whole meme. There was a huge news coverage on him going to court because he was accused of market manipulation.
As for me, I like the stock.
When he simply shared his due diligence with the internet, and everyone else said, you know what, I think this guy knows what he's talking about. And everyone pushed Jimmy all the way through the short squeeze. And then after that, he kind of went silent. He was quiet for almost 3 years when he posted a simple image on Twitter. And that image made GameStop rally all the way to $60. After this simple image that he shared on Twitter, he then came out and he announced that he had over 100,000 shares of GME expiring on June 21st. So in just a few days, it's going to be expiring. Then he started tracking this position on Reddit, and we're going to show that. But at one point, his options were worth $1 billion. So he became a billionaire for a brief instance before GME went back down towards the high 20s, lower 30s in price. So how did he do that? How did he almost become a billionaire? Well, he did that with options. He bought calls on GME. As you're seeing here, GME is currently at $26.51, but at one point, just a few days ago, it was at $46.58, and on May 14th, it was all the way to $64. We have here this news that explains it a little bit better, that during after hours, which is after the market closes, there are still few trades happening here and there, and the price for GME at after hours was above $60, making his positions, making Roaring Kitty's positions over $1 billion worth. Of course, right now, as we saw from the price, GME is at $26, so nowhere near his position. And if we go on Reddit, he is posting updates on his calls. You can see right here, GME YOLO, and you can see that by June 6th, he recorded the biggest position yet of his options. You can see he holds 5 million shares of GME, but he also has 120,000 calls at a strike of $20. They will be in the profit if GME stays above $20, but they will expire on June 21st. And they got all the way to $586 million, so $500 million worth just with GME, and that is crazy. 3 days ago he posted another update, and this update was only worth $235 million. So you can see that on the day gains he did 34 million losses because the price itself of the option went down by $34 million, but he's still 20% in the green with this option. This one right here, on the last one, he was 375% in the total gain with this. So I honestly believe that the price will indeed be pumped before the expiration. I believe that something will happen. He will either make a few other posts, but the price itself of GME will go above 30 before the expiration of his calls. I think he'll be walking away with $300 to $400 million in profit in this strategy. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do believe that everyone is going to try to make this guy win, mainly because he's a people's person, you know, contrary to Nancy Pelosi, for example, which does a lot of insider trading and everyone seems to know, but no one seems to do anything about it. This guy is someone who was someone like us. So the internet itself is siding with this guy. Again, I'm not here to say that he's right or wrong. wrong, if he's manipulating or not the market, but just that a lot of people online want to see him strike. That being said, what can you do with options? How can you do this right here with options for crypto? Crypto is even more volatile than GME is. Some days altcoins, meme coins, even Ethereum or Bitcoin, they rally 5%, 10% in a single day, or they can go 50% in a single month, as we saw in a lot of months so far. So the way you can do that is very, very simple. You can go to Bitopics. It is bitopics.io, but it's going to be the first link in the description. Join that so we can track who's coming from the YouTube videos. So right here, you are on the vanilla options tab. Here you can buy calls and you can buy puts. So let's say you believe, like Roaring Kitty, that the underlying asset is bullish. So you believe Bitcoin or Ethereum. You can choose whichever one of these they are bullish. So what you can do right here is choose either one. You can choose a call if you're bullish or a put if you're bearish. In our case, we're going to go for the call, and then you choose the series. This is the expiration. For example, Roaring Kitty's calls, they were expiring on June 21st, but you can go all the way to March 2025 in this case. These are called leaps, and leaps are long options. So he shared his position on June 2nd for June 21st, but who knows if he was holding these calls from before June 2nd, so maybe even from May, maybe he had a whole month ahead of him. Who knows? I don't know. I personally don't know this detail. If you know, comment down below if he was holding that for quite a while now, if these were leaps, whatever they were. If you know this, comment down below. But again, here we can see all the expirations that we have on the platform. Let's go, for example, for August or maybe September. September could be better. Let's go all the way to September so we have a little bit of margin to play with. And the strike, we're going to select here the price above which we believe the underlying asset will be. So for Roaring Kitty, for example, he got a strike of $20. So right now GME is at 27, but when he bought it, most likely GME by when he got in wasn't that price at all, was way lower. So he got an out of the money option. Out of the money options, they are cheaper to get, but the underlying asset needs to move above this strike. So it could or could not work in your way. The good thing about out of the money option is that when it goes in your favor, you multiply your capital by a lot. So we're looking at 300, 400%, just like Roaring Kitty did with his calls as well. But we could also go in the money, so have something that is in the money already, so it already has intrinsic value. You can do whatever way. If you don't know what is the difference between in the money, out of the money, and at the money, we have a video here that covers this topic, so make sure to check it out. So let's go at the money. I think it'll be a little bit better. So let's go for 67 strike. We don't have a 67, so let's go for a 65. So the break even that you see right here is the price that the underlying asset needs to go to for you to be profitable. Well, now you might be saying, well, doesn't it need to stay above the strike itself? Well, it does, but there's also the break even, which has to do with the bid and ask price and also the price itself that you're paying to open this option. So all these things account for when you're going to be profitable in this option right here. So you can see that the lower you go with the strike, the lower the break even should be, because the spread between ask and bid is different, because the price itself of the option is different. But the further in the money you go, the more expensive the option will be. So you see right now for 62,000 strike, it is worth $15,000. So if we go out of the money, let's go to 80,000, you can see that the option now, it is just worth $6,000. So if we go right here for 8.1, we're going to be paying $628. And if we go to 90,000, this price goes even lower to $3,000. So 8.1 size would give us $380.71. But of course, when we go this out of the money, you can see that the break even goes to $93,000. So Bitcoin would have to go above 93K, 93.8K for it to be profitable in our pockets. So let's say you do believe this is going to happen, just like Roaring Kitty. He knew this was going to happen, or he thought this was going to happen for GNC. Well, what you have to do right here is select strike, expiration, amount of options, which is contract size if you're coming from stock options, which again, what you can do here that you cannot do with stock options is going fractions of options. So instead of you having one option, which equals to 100 shares, you can go for a fraction of an option, which will be a fraction of a Bitcoin in this case, which makes for cheaper and better entries on your options. So let's say we do believe this will go in our favor. We click right here, we will fill everything, we see the price, we click on open position, yes, and our position will be processed. We can see it right there at the bottom. So the same thing applies for Ethereum. You just go right here, switch to Ethereum. You can apply the same process that I just showed you here for Ethereum itself. Of course, the strikes now are going to be lower than all these big numbers that we had for Bitcoin, but still we go all the way to 5,000 and all the way at the bottom to 2,800. So according to where do you feel Bitcoin will be or won't be, you can go calls or puts, just like you did for Bitcoin. So Roaring Kitty was not the first and he's not going to be the last in making a lot of money with options. Of course, you need to understand how the market moves. You need to understand how to use options. So we have a playlist down here on the channel. You can check it out. We teach options. We teach a lot of ways where you can profit from options with cryptocurrency. So if you want to check it out, just follow the channel and go to the playlist tabs, and there you're going to see all of our playlists or all of our videos if that's what you want to do. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.